it's also going to be, I'm also recording it,
Okay.
so it's going to be posted to YouTube.
Okay.
John is going to
Is Rebecca
join
live?
us in a few minutes. You can see there.
Okay. Is she?
You guys can go ahead and chat.
Okay.
Hey girl, how was ACDA?
It was good.
Yeah. How's your
Yeah.
foot? Ankle? What?
Can you even see me?
Kind of. Yeah, I can see you. It's a little like blurry. Is it your knee?
Yeah, my knee.
What's wrong with it? You can't straighten it?
We're here.
Are we chatting?
Yeah. Hi.
Yes.
Do you want to sit
So,
here?
like, no, I'm
Okay.
good, we're good.
John's going to try to join us in a few minutes. He's in Fort Lauderdale.
That's right.
USITT.
He's at USITT, right.
But his role, as I understand it, is basically just to be sure that we've met the deadlines. So he may join us. So the purpose of this meeting was so Roberta could meet with us. I believe to go over some of the protocols in regards to marketing and public relations. And then we can also talk about jobs that need to be done and when they need to be done by. So, Roberta, do you just want to jump in and talk about the protocols, everything being run by you and all of that?
And from my perspective, everything is not run by me.
Oh, no, I'm sorry.
Sorry.
It is presented to you for approval.
Semantics.
No.
Yes.
This woman is person is in charge.
Yeah. Yes, my request. So I'm in charge of editing. This is part of my job as program coordinator, is that I have to serve as the college eyes for anything that goes out that has St. Mary's name on it. So basically, before you send the press release or any sort of promotional marketing out beyond our community, it needs to have my eyes look at it before it goes out. So I request 24 hours for editing for anything. So if you have a deadline, make sure you're giving me 24 hours to get it back to you. You know, so add that into your timeline. Ideally, you'll give me the document, you know, like ideally if it's a Google Doc, you'll give me editing access. It's much easier if I can edit directly than tell you the changes to make. It makes it really time consuming. It doubles the work for me and for you if I'm not editing directly. So, and I usually, just so you know, like I don't normally change content, you know. I will say that like there are some faculty members who feel like, you know, certain content in the past that has come up, but I'm not editing it for content. I'm editing it for grammar and language, you know, things like that.
Yeah.
But I'm fact checking. You know, I won't name names, but like 2 concerts ago, they had the wrong date in the press release. It was not the date that the concert actually was. So those are the sort of things that I'm looking at things for.
So, well, while we're on that topic, the program that should be used for the program, sorry, like,
Oh,
what
yeah.
software program we should use is the one, I think we talked about it
Yeah,
somewhat.
I emailed Leslie to talk about that.
Okay.
Yeah.
But what is the program that you
I don't
use?
have a program.
Okay.
So my perspective is, since you're high residency and if we're doing it in June, it depends on your timeline, but given that you're high residency, we can make an appointment and do it together in person. Where it becomes challenging is when people it's low residency,
Uh-huh.
or when there's a super tight crunch, and like the challenge of January was that Leslie was in dance mission and I was in the office, and she needed it done in less than 24 hours.
Okay.
So, and I don't have a PC. She was working on a program on a PC. I have a Mac, and so I borrowed Kathy's. So, anyways, if we can just coordinate, like if we don't have super tight deadlines, if you give me a little extra time, and if we can just meet in person and do it, that's ideal. I don't care what program you're using, because if we're sitting and I'm editing on your computer, whatever you're using, then it's fine.
So we're trying to stay on this schedule. So that, in
Okay.
fact, that meeting would actually happen 1 month prior to the concert. So it actually
Sounds
be at
great.
the end of this semester
I'm
if
here.
we have all the information.
Yeah.
So it doesn't make any difference if it's done in Publisher or,
If we're meeting in person, it makes no difference to me what kind of computer you're using or what program you're using.
okay.
Because I'm just going to edit what you show me and edit it directly. And it's so much faster and so much less work for everyone.
Yeah.
Me and you. The other thing that happened with Leslie, just to give some context for, why some of the challenges of this past January that we want to try to avoid, is that Leslie didn't give me a finished draft. She gave me a draft that was still in process. So I edited it, but then she was getting the dancers still editing their bios. So she was having to reconcile the edits that I made to what she had given me against the new edits that the dancers were giving her. And then she had to give it to me again, and then I had to edit again. So, so when I edit, you should be done getting edits from anyone else, ideally. Like, that's how we avoid that problem that we bumped up against in January, is that you're no longer collecting information from any dancers, the bios or the descriptions about pieces or the music or anything. You have all the information in place, and then I'm just editing the final program.
So I'm going to
Sound
add to
good?
this calendar that's posted on the Team Drive.
Yeah.
Actually, you still need to finish it because I just started it, but I didn't finish it, and the information comes right from here. So it's put over here so we know the exact deadline date. But we should add in here final program info from choreographers, and that should probably be 6 weeks ahead of opening.
I will say that I understand that part of the challenge is that some choreographers were making changes based on the feedback they were receiving from their professors. So I don't know if 6 weeks in advance is realistic. Can we have what do you think? I mean,
Yeah, I didn't actually have my music set until I think a week or two before the performance, because I was constantly getting notes about changing my music.
right. So
So,
that was part of the,
If 2 weeks is enough time, I think that gives people a little bit more time. I mean, you're still going to get notes once we're in the theater for tech, but if everybody knows, like 2 weeks and we can't change things, that might help smooth things out also for the professors giving notes.
right. Or we might just want to be in conversation with Elizabeth about what she thinks is reasonable. She needs to have some time to give them feedback.
Right.
And then there needs to be some cutoff date. So maybe we could just include Elizabeth in the dialogue about.
Right, because she has to approve these things as well, the graphic
Exactly.
design. I'm basically just here to be sure deadlines are met, kind of with John. But Elizabeth, in terms of content, that's Elizabeth and Roberta. I was just trying to follow this
Yeah.
document. So we should decide what things we want. They have to have the information prior to one week. So this needs to be at least 2 weeks ahead of
You want me
But
to
I-
write Elizabeth and ask her if she.
Sure.
I'll write it right now.
And I think one thing that'll help is if
Is she
you
not
are-
in the office? Could I
No,
just
she's
ask
not
her?
here. If you've already actually done the layout and all of that
Yeah.
ahead of time and the graphic image is in there, all the general information is in there. So all you would need to do 2 weeks in advance is just be sure that the information regarding each particular dance is correct.
Yeah.
So that would put the meeting. I'm just going to put these in right now until we hear from Elizabeth. But I still think asking for program info from the choreographers 4 weeks in advance is not too much, knowing that
So at
they can
least-
change it.
At least they're thinking about the fact that they have to get it together.
Yeah. I think we just need to like almost tell people to plan ahead.
Yeah.
Instead of, because I know some people come here and that's when they're first setting it on their dancers and just starting. So I think if everyone has an idea way ahead of time.
But
it'll
isn't everyone in choreography? What choreography class are you taking right
be
now?
for
Yeah. So are you building work in that choreography class towards the June show?
We're not building it specifically for that. We're just
Okay.
building work, but some people will probably use it.
Okay.
My understanding is that work, even if it's being set on some dancers that you won't have till you arrive here, is that the choreography is supposed to be done before anybody arrives. So they should know a lot about the piece. Because I'm just trying to last minute. The text for the show start on the Sunday following cohort 3's. The thesis concert ends on Saturday, and text start on Sunday. And that's almost 2 weeks in advance of the concert, and it has to
A
be
week
done
and a half,
before the text
yeah.
start. So, hi, John.
Oh.
Can you hear us? I can see you.
Think he has headphones on?
I can hear you all. It's just there's a lot of like kind of crowd noise, and
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you in the convention center?
I am.
Awesome. Thank you for being there.
Yeah.
So we were just reviewing what the fact that the information, the program, press release, graphic designs, all the work that Alex and Andrea do needs to be shown to Roberta so that she is sure that it meets the university guidelines, and also to have another set of eyes on it as an editor. So we were trying to set up a schedule for the program. And anyway, I guess that's up in the air. We don't have to, the program is the kind of the last big piece that needs to come out of here. So I guess we'll just wait to hear from Elizabeth and see what she says. So in regards to, so the same thing goes in terms of the graphic design as well as the press release, right? You need to have your eyes on it.
I will say that when I was saying like I don't approve or disapprove content, I think that's Matthew, you, and Elizabeth who
Right.
would say like, you know, this design satisfies our, you know, our requirements.
Mhm.
I feel like I don't play that role.
Okay. And all this, there's a lot of information on the team drive
Yeah.
about the way it's supposed to be, and there's the official, other things you.
I mean, yeah, that the official logo has to be
Official
on
logos
there.
there.
Yeah, I mean, the basic info, like, you know, the date, time, location. Yeah. I mean, in the past, there was some confusion because the zip code changed or something. Somebody was using the old zip code instead of the correct zip code for the actual, little things like this I'm going to check for. But I'm not going to say like, oh, I don't like this picture you're
Yeah.
using. I'm not going to do that.
Okay. So Alex and Andrea, you've looked over the job responsibilities, right?
And I'm sorry, refresh my memory, who's doing marketing and who's doing publicity? Marketing?
Alex is
Publicity.
doing publicity.
Okay,
So I think what we're up against is if the choreography is not done, it's hard to even do this work. And yet the graphic design for the show is supposed to be done by April 4th.
and you can use something from a previous show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we can push that back because we're no longer having stuff printed. We're just using social media.
And I will say that it is important in the press release to have at least like a one-line description for each choreographer, what their vision is for their piece, because that press release is used by the writers, by the reviewers. So it's not enough just to list the names of the choreographers. There has to be some content.
Right.
Yeah.
So Alex, this is actually one of your main jobs, is writing this press release.
Mm-hmm.
So we just have to figure out, well, let me go back one step before that. One of the things we need to do immediately is get a sense of what all the choreographers are doing so that you can actually do a graphic design, and we need to pick a title.
Yes.
So, I mean, there's still.
And as soon as there's a title, I can put it on our MFA in dance website right now. It just says concert.
Yeah.
So what I would recommend is that the two of you come up with some ideas and then start running it by the choreographers and ask them for information or ideas, I should say, for the title.
Okay.
But telling them it has to be done by this date. And, you know, that date should,
For the design.
right.
So
you're actually going to do the graphic design
Yeah.
yourself, right? That's what we decided. So that part of it's done. And you're trying to meet with Leslie, or you have met with Leslie?
well, you just asked me to ask her what program she was using, so that's
Okay.
what I did. Yeah.
Okay. If you feel like you need to get information from her, you should meet with her. I know that she's doing a lot, so getting a time with her may be hard.
You're talking about
Leslie.
Leslie.
Yeah.
She's very busy. Yes.
John, did you actually have time to meet with Relly on production?
I shot her some questions. We didn't have a phone call, but we talked about timeline and schedule, stage manager's kit, things like that. And she will be sending me some templates. We also talked about the reception, and it sounds like they scrapped it last year due to it being too complicated for where their heads were at. But I just got that email back today, so I might need to read it again.
Okay. So I think what would be really helpful is if you, Alex, and Andrea, am I pronouncing your name correctly? That you almost immediately send a letter together to the choreographers. I'm not even really sure what the pool of choreographers is. I don't know if I have a complete list. I know, Alex, you're doing a piece in the show, right?
I would like to. I was told that I had a little bit of time to think about it,
Okay.
but I would like to, yes.
Okay. So you should probably check with Elizabeth and see. I mean, we know which CP students are doing it, they have to, but we don't know which of the DP students.
Right. Yeah.
So that's the two of you. John, you're not doing a piece, right?
I hadn't planned on it. I might have a video, you know.
Okay.
No.
And then Lisa and Katie are the other two people.
And I'm going to touch base, I think, with... Have you touched base with Katie about that?
I have not.
Okay, she and I are gonna just talk on the phone tomorrow, and if it's okay with you, I'll ask her then. But if it should be coming from you as you or Elizabeth, then let me know.
No, I think that's fine.
Okay.
I think that's fine. And I think Elizabeth is open to anybody doing something as long as they know they cannot perform.
Right.
Because they're DP students and that their DP duties come first. Yeah. So yeah, I just think the ball needs to get rolling. And as you said, these people need to know, you need to make these decisions sooner rather than later. You two can't do all of this starting June 4th or whenever the semester starts. It's going to be too much. So, I mean, I don't think it hurts to even say, okay, what's your piece about? And, you know, putting that kind of pressure on people.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the pressure is more coming from the choreographer side. You know, I imagine Elizabeth is saying you need to have your pieces done by a certain time, which is not our decision. That's up to her. But getting the ball rolling, I think, is going to be really helpful because I know that cohort 3 is kind of playing a little bit of catch up now. And it would be a lot easier for all of us if they're not playing as much catch up, because once June arrives, everybody's schedules are crazy. And I know your schedules are probably crazy right now with everything you do other than going to school here, but we still have time and we need to take advantage of that. But I think also if you get a sense of what their pieces are about, you, Alex, and you, Andrea, can start coming up with some ideas.
Yeah.
But I think it wouldn't hurt even this week to send an email introducing yourself. John, you've already done that, right, from a production standpoint?
Yeah, I've sent out the initial email. I promised some like checklists and things that I haven't gotten to yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
So did either of you have any questions in terms of responsibilities? You've looked, I've just asked you this, you've looked through the duties that are listed in the syllabus. Do you have any questions about anything?
Not yet. No.
Okay. And Alex, do you have any questions?
Not yet. I haven't really, I think I might have some questions when I start to map out exactly how I'm going to accomplish the tasks, but I haven't been able to figure out how I'm going to accomplish all of those tasks. So at the moment, no.
Okay. One thing that may be helpful is I know last year the first press release that was generated was woefully inadequate. So it would be good to get a template for one that we think is really good. And I don't think it would hurt to send an email to Rebecca Johnson and ask her to send you what she thinks is a great press release.
Okay.
Did you take Rebecca's class in the fall?
Both Lisa and I did. So
Okay.
we can probably be resources to take a look at those press release drafts too.
Okay, so you already have that information from your class?
Yeah.
That would be
So
great.
I can,
Okay.
I think we got some templates. I can send that along.
Okay. Yeah, I think we might as well start out with the best instead of starting out with something that's mediocre and making it better.
Yeah.
And Rebecca, I think, is the expert in that area, and I'm sure she's willing to help. I'm sure she's even willing to look at a draft of the press release if she knows in advance, though. So everything's been arranged with the videographer. Where are we in terms of photos?
So I can contact Jen and hire her. Would we like me to do that?
Sure, that would be great. And that's done at the dress rehearsal, right? The video's being
Right,
done
right.
at the first performance, correct, John?
Yes.
And Rebecca just sent us an email today. Rebecca who works for Lauren, not Rebecca Johnson. And she's confirmed it. She sent the contract, CC'd all of us.
Did we get an answer on whether the videography and photos are coming out of our budget or not?
That's what I was just going to ask.
I apologize. No, I will make that a priority to get the answer to that. The answer to that very soon. I'm sorry. I just came out of a meeting with Wasana and Bahalio, and I forgot to ask.
I'm not in a rush.
Knowing that the budget's $1,000 and it's basically a low-tech show, it seems to me some of it, either the photos or the videography, should come out of those $1,000.
Okay.
I mean, what else are we going to be spending the money on? We have to make posters for on campus, but that's going to cost $50 at the end. And I don't know if there's social media costs, if they're stamp costs.
$5 boost.
You know. So if we spend $100 on PR and marketing, what else would we be spending money on, John?
We might want some snacks.
I don't know
Okay.
yet. I mean, it depends on what the choreographers are coming up with. You know, laser projectors.
Yeah. We're already in the mode of choreographers providing all that stuff themselves, right?
Yeah. You know, the expo floor opens tomorrow. I'm sure I could find a way to spend $1,000.
Say that again?
The expo floor opens tomorrow. I'm sure I could find a way to spend $1,000.
Yeah. You can't buy anything there for $1,000. We need a new follow spot. Yeah, so we'll find out which budget that's coming out of, but if you all can think about what else we would be spending money on. Roberta just said if they need snacks or and drinks backstage.
I just know that Elizabeth spent money on that last year.
Okay.
Out of that budget.
Okay. So let's not talk about the concessions now. That's something that we can probably talk about later on.
Can we talk, I don't know if you have this on your agenda, Matthew, can we talk about the social media?
Sure.
What the.
Actually, there really is no agenda. It's kind of a free-for-all. So go ahead. Yeah.
So would both of you be doing that, or you're going to be doing it?
I think mostly me, or is it?
Oh, I thought it was mostly me, but maybe not.
Well, my understanding is you're in charge of being sure that all of these deadlines are met and basically in charge of everything. But you can ask people and say, this is your task, this is your task. And I'm sure you'll want, you know, whatever Alex is thinking is her task, you'll probably want her to do it. But in terms of meeting deadlines, that's all you.
Yeah.
And then John is also following that as well. So, so Alex, what was your understanding in terms of social media?
Maybe I kind of went back and forth whether I wanted to be PR or marketing. So maybe I am getting a little bit confused as to what the social media tasks are. But based on the meeting that we had at the end of our January concert, some of the ideas that were being thrown around, I had some ideas on how to handle social media. And because of my passion for social media, I thought that I could handle that. But if, Andrea, you want to take over, I can help you in any way.
We can both do it.
I always think two heads are better than one.
Yeah, I just think that some of the things that were talked about was like the posters weren't getting put around and there wasn't really just a lot of promotion and advertisement. And I think because people lean more towards social media to find out information, I think that we really need to push our advertisement through social media in addition to the posters.
So just so you know, the only printed material that's being done, and this is new, is just posters for on campus. There are we're not spending money on postcards or postering anywhere outside of campus because people have determined that it's a waste of money.
Well, I would disagree with that because going to school at San Jose State, I remember seeing posters for St. Mary's concerts or San Francisco concerts, and it definitely got me going to other concerts. So I think that, I mean, at least maybe the schools nearby, the other colleges, especially because it's the master's program, I think undergrads are interested as, oh, what's going on at the master's program at St. Mary's? If they're considering going to school to get their master's, I think that that's beneficial, but that's just my opinion.
No, I think if they're used properly, nobody's opposed to it.
Yeah.
I agree, and I think the biggest issue is the distribution. So I think part of what happened this past January is that there wasn't clear communication about who should, like, just a stack of posters were left in the lobby, and it was, I think, just announced, hey, go grab some posters and post them, but not a coordinated effort. Who's going to post at Alonzo King? Who's going to post at ODC? Who's going to post? So, like, I think if there's some communication and coordination about, like, who's already taking classes at those places, who can post a post, you know, who teaches, or, you know, like, who lives in San Jose, or, you know, I mean, I happen to know one of our incoming students lives in San Jose, so, like, maybe we can ask her to, but she's in cohort 5, not cohort 4. But.
Yeah, I think in terms of postering, it's basically we can ask anybody, you know, if they have a car and if they live in this neighborhood, would you mind posting 3 of these?
Yeah. And let me just say, I live 2 blocks from ODC, so I'm always happy to post anything at ODC.
Great.
Yeah.
And those are supposed to be out or printed and everything by, I don't know.
Well, looks like they're supposed to be done by the end of April. So,
Sorry.
but I think it would be more realistic to think if they could be done by the end of May. And the posters are printed here on campus, right? They're
Yeah,
not-
at the print shop.
It's
Yeah.
not excuse me, did I say posters or postcards?
Posters.
Posters, okay.
And so was the problem that it takes a while to get approved by the school as well to hang that? Or I think they were talking about something like it took a while to get an approval from
Yeah, yeah.
something, and that's
So-
why.
So it's not just getting approval from me. After it goes through me, then it goes to College Com. And you have to get the director of College Com to sign off on anything that's going to go outside the college.
Mhm.
So what I recommend is sending an email to College Com saying, how much of a time frame do we need to give you to approve something? And then build that into your schedule. I will acknowledge that part of the delay was that some faculty were slow in getting feedback to the people who needed it in order to get it to College Com. So it wasn't just College Com. There was like a faculty delay in giving feedback for the January. So.
What did you say it's called? College
Oh, it's called College Communications. Is the department.
Communications. College Com. Got it.
Yeah.
So Alex, are you willing to take on the task of coordinating poster distribution?
Sure.
Okay. And it looks like something that needs to be done during the first week of June.
Totally. Yeah. And if there's, if
On
we
the first day when everybody's in the same place.
What happens the first year?
Well, there's a meeting, right?
I don't think that's scheduled. Do you want me to look at the June schedule? Do you think it's already on the June schedule?
There is some lunch meeting that's already on the June schedule that you sent me. It's on Monday. I think.
No, there's a mandatory meeting for thesis from 12:30 to 2:30. There's nothing for cohort 4.
Okay.
You can't be in 2 places at the same time. So we can't have that meeting that day at that time.
Okay.
We can put it on the schedule, but you just need to tell me when you want to have it as lunch on the second day?
Right. Well, we've scheduled class times for DP, but we need everybody in the cohort.
Right, so do you wanna do lunch on Tuesday?
Sure, if it will fit into the schedule.
Well, I mean, lunch is free every day, it's just that people have to be able to eat lunch during the meeting.
I mean, it would also be great if there's a way that Alex or Andrea could have 5 minutes when cohort 3 and cohort 5 are in the same room together to ask them about poster distribution too.
But we have no meeting where everyone's together until the last day of the term.
Okay.
The only time all 3 cohorts are together is the final lunch.
Okay. So Alex, it looks like you may have to do a lot of checking in with individuals about willingness to do posting.
Yeah, that's fine. Do you think that, Roberta, that I could crash the last like 30 seconds of the oh wait, you said that the meeting is for the thesis, but you guys have orientation for cohort 5 the first day?
Yeah,
So maybe I could crash the last 30 seconds and throw flyers out and
totally. I'm okay with that. Yeah.
That's great.
In fact, Alex, I always recruit students to come and talk about our program. Would you be willing to be one of the students who comes and talks about our program?
totally, I'll bring posters.
Okay. Great. I'm
Perfect.
going to put you down for that right now.
Cool. And regarding posters, I think, Matthew, you threw out the end of May. I think that having it done by May is smart because if we want to send them to other colleges and or universities, that's when their finishing school is May. So it would be nice to put those up when, people are on campus.
Okay.
I agree, Alex.
Yeah.
So I think it really, I think putting the pressure on now, with you talking to the choreographers about what their pieces are about. I mean, to do the poster, you don't have to have all the content. You don't need to know who the dancers are. But we have to get some sense of, is there an overriding theme to it so that you can do a graphic design? So I would ask you to come up with a deadline, decide on a deadline and let John and I know what it is, so that we can get started on this.
Yeah.
So you're thinking that the poster should be done by May 15th is kind of what we're thinking.
I think that's a good date because then that gives us at least a week or so to nail them off and then for them to actually arrive at places and or hang them up at ODC or places like that. I think that's smart.
Okay. So this thing is not that far off date. Finalized, this has the first draft of the poster design on April 4th, but then there's a 3-week review and change and print process. So if you're wanting them by May 15th, we're going to have the first draft done at least by the middle of April or the 3rd week of April.
I just want to add that I heard back from Elizabeth and she said 2 weeks before the concert is fine for having the choreographers give their finalize their program notes. Yeah.
Okay. So I will go ahead and add that to the document and put your meeting down 1 week in advance.
No, you know what? I apologize. I'm going to be gone that week, so we have to do it. We have to do it by the 15th.
Okay.
If you want it done, otherwise I can do it that Monday. But I think that's kind of last minute.
Yeah.
I'll be here all day on the 15th. So.
Well, I think if you have their preliminary material and it's just the final step that they have for the 2 weeks, that your meeting could be 2 weeks in advance too.
Yeah. I mean, we could do it. So then you would have everything by that Thursday. And then we could either meet that Thursday or we can meet that Friday. We'll have to coordinate because of your class schedule. Yeah. But you would I are gonna work on the program together. Okay.
So if it's already done and they're just sending in their final list, then you should be able to do that in a few minutes and then meet with Roberta on the same day. So what day is that? I might as well put a specific day on here.
We're talking about June 14th,
Okay.
the deadline, right?
Yes, that's right. So both of those are going to be June 14th. Their final deadline. But
That's the final deadline for program notes.
yeah, but I think they have to have their initial program info like 4 or 5 weeks in advance.
Are you in anyone's thesis piece?
2.
2.
Yeah.
So you'll start dress rehearsal at 2 that day, that Thursday, and then you have the performance on the 15th. So, I mean, I'm free at lunch that day if you wanna,
On the, what day is that?
on the 14th.
Okay.
Is that noon? are you saying?
It's 12:30 to 1:30.
Okay.
You wanna have a working
Yeah.
lunch?
Yeah, that's fine.
And then we could, I mean, hopefully we can just get it done
Yeah.
then, but then we could use lunch the following day if we need to finish.
Okay.
Okay. John, this is on a whole this is a production thing. Did you, in the note that you sent out, John, did you ask them for their lighting designers if they knew? What was
I mentioned that they could choose whoever their lighting designer was. I haven't heard back, but I haven't yet pressed.
Okay. Okay. So do you want to talk more about social media responsibilities, or, I mean, the two of you can do that
Yeah.
in your own meeting. I guess what I keep getting at, and I'm probably saying it over and over again, is to start letting the cohort know now, you need to be thinking about this because the deadline's going to come up really quickly. I know.
Yeah, I will add, Alex, that the college does have some requirements around social media. So I'm gonna connect you with the person in College Comm who runs social media.
Great.
They're really super supportive and great, but like, the fact that, Michael set up his own like Instagram account for the Process Thesis Festival, like was not totally okay, like from the college's standpoint.
Okay.
So you're both,
Yeah.
the idea is you're both going to work on this and,
We'll talk about it and
Okay.
then figure it out. Yeah.
okay. So is there anything else?
I want to add one thing about the constant contacts. It says that on there, but I don't have that list. Tara has it, but do you know what the contact list is? Like, do you know what the idea of it is?
The contact list. Or
I'm just saying, when I started this job, I didn't know what it was. I didn't even know
Oh,
what
what,
people were talking
constant
about.
contact? Yeah,
It's our mailing list, our email list for everyone, like, for performing arts. So it goes to hundreds of people. So when that's ready to be sent out, my point is just that I don't have that list. You'll have to coordinate with Tara. It says that on there, but I just want to make sure you knew that.
And then for Facebook, you're the one that's in charge of that and has that password?
Yes.
Okay.
so I'm not sure this is actually on your job description, so, and I also don't know if the PR going out to Constant Contact, if both concerts, the thesis concert and your concert, should be advertised at the same time. If there's if people have some feelings about, like, we need to wait until theirs is done, and I think we should just check in with them about it. It can't hurt.
With the thesis people?
Yeah.
Like maybe you send it out after the thesis is over, like you send it out that Sunday or Monday.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know why. First of all, I would check with Tara to see when's the ideal date to send it, because I think it's sent more than once. But, I mean, it seems to me something could go out for both concerts. like 3 weeks in advance of their concert, and then they would send out another one just for their concert, and we would wait then for our second one to go out on the 19th or whenever it is.
But this is a really good point. I don't know if she has a date every month that she sends it out.
Okay.
I was thinking we would just connect with her to send ours out when it was ready.
Okay.
But we will need to have a conversation with her to find out if like there's a deadline from her end, from her perspective.
Okay. Have you met Tara?
No.
So after this meeting, I'll introduce you, and you can check in with her. Okay, so anything else? Okay, great. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, John, for running our program at USITT.
Yeah, absolutely. See y'all.
See ya.
Bye.
This is what I didn't do the other day, and come on. I lost the whole lecture. Okay. So I will, in case anybody wants to look at this.
Yeah. Keep it on
It's,
there.
I mean, yeah. So do we want to have a time to check in, so that I don't keep bugging you or John doesn't keep bugging you?
Sure.
Should we set a, what do you think is a reasonable time to think about meeting? What is it? I mean, do we need to meet before? We probably don't need to meet before Easter, right? Just coming up really
So,
quickly.
yeah, maybe the week after that. So when we come back,
Yeah,
break.
yeah. Should we just plan on, schedule a time now, but like April 3rd, which is, that's the Tuesday.
Okay.
I think Easter's on April 1st this year. And so the break actually goes through April 2nd.
Mm-hmm. So Tuesday.
The other thing is, I don't know if John is going to be here for the dance workshop that a lot of people, low residency
Oh,
students
yeah.
are coming for.
I don't think he is.
Okay. When is that exactly? It's in mid
April 21st, 22nd.
Okay. Yeah, it'll be a really good time
Mhm.
to hit
Connect
those
with-
people up.
Yeah. I'm trying to ask. Are you taking dance for cameras? Yes. You're doing it for 20.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, actually, you didn't respond to the first email I sent about whether you could come to this meeting. You responded to the one I sent yesterday,
Okay.
confirming this meeting. And I asked you and Alex to confirm that you could be here.
Okay.
So
Okay.
be sure.
Yeah.
I don't know if check your St. Mary's email every day when you're not around here very much, but
Yeah.
please do.
Okay.
We kind of have a policy, we don't kind of, in the theater program, we have a policy that people must respond within 24 hours unless it's the weekend.
Okay.
So,
When you're on a production crew.
yeah, in our case, anybody who's involved in the production. Yeah. Okay.
I don't think that's in here. It should be added, right?
If you want that policy for the dance program, it's policy in the theater program.
I'm gonna put it in my notes.